welcome back to Texas Cooking Today. On this episode, we have a wonderful, tasty recipe. Extra creamy macaroni and cheese. And this is the creamiest, best tasting macaroni and cheese that I've ever put in my mouth. I've been a connoisseur of mac and cheese my whole life. So I'll tell you what, let me show you this simple recipe. Come a little closer. Let's go over what we have to cook with here. Okay, very simple ingredients. This isn't actually part of the recipe. In and of, it doesn't actually go in the mac and cheese, it just goes next to it and makes it a little nicer in that way. Now first of all, let's start with the pasta. I've chosen a really unique pasta here. This is called pipe rigotti, and it's sort of like a cross between a shell macaroni and an elbow macaroni, and they're wonderful because when they're cooked they don't nestle into each other the way a shell does, and also they're really neat because they hold so much sauce. So what I have here is 12 ounces of pipe rigotti is what that's called. Over here, 8 ounces of extra sharp cheddar cheese. Make sure you get a very, very sharp cheddar for this. This recipe works best this way. I have here 2 tablespoons of butter. Easy to know how to measure your butter. Look on the side of the butter package and it tells you really clear and simple measurements there. This is 1.5 cups of heavy cream. Whipping cream is what that's called also. And we're going to use a pinch of salt, and that's just going to bring out some of that cheese and cream flavor just a little bit better. But remember, if you're using salted butter, to not go crazy with your salt, okay? First thing we need to do is get our pipe rigotti down into boiling water. Let's move right over there. I have here my pot of water, which is just coming to a boil. Place about 2 to 3 tablespoons of salt down in that water. You don't have to go crazy with it. Did I say table? Teaspoons. Like a 5-finger pinch. And that's more than enough. Now, place the pipe rigotti into it. Pour it in kind of slowly like I did, and that way each of the pieces of pasta gets well surrounded by water. And they'll be a little less apt to stick that way. Frankly, putting oil in the water does nothing good for it. It floats on top of it, and the only thing that you might end up getting is towards the end, a little of that oil might get put on the pasta as you pour the water out, but it's not likely. So, just don't bother with it. Now, we need to start on the sauce. That pasta should take roughly 10 minutes. So what I'm going to do is just take a little simple timer here. We're going to set it up to 10 minutes. And we'll check that pasta when that beeps. On this burner here, I want to go ahead and turn the burner on, and I'm going to set it for a medium heat. I'm going to take my cream, get it ready, and my butter. Go ahead and place the butter inside. Just a little bit left over there. There's always a piece that fights. Now, once that butter has melted, we'll put the cream in there, and we're going to heat the two together. Now for this, it works best if you have a whisk. You can do this with a spoon. If you're going to use a spoon, try to use a slotted spoon, or something with holes in it, so the liquid will pass through it better and you'll get better stirring action. Now this, unbelievably simple. It really is. People go out and pay money, too much money, for these boxed macaroni and cheese dinners. And frankly, what I'm showing you here tastes much better. When I say much, I mean way much better. Butter is still melting. Let's get a little closer there. Now this pan has a thick bottom, so it does take it a moment to get good heat through it. However, that also is one of the things that allows for even heating. Good heavy bottoms. Now don't forget to occasionally stir that macaroni. Just take a fork, put it in there, and just give it a stir. You only have to do that about 2 or 3 times during the boil. Our butter is completely melted. Pouring in the cream now. If you think about it, where does butter come from? It comes from cream. Okay? So what we're doing is just putting some right back into it. Now what I want to do is bring this cream up to temperature. And I want it to get just a little over 100 degrees. One thing that you can do is to put a thermometer into your pan, and that way you can find out the temperature easy. Also, having a simple cook's thermometer is very smart in the kitchen. A nice digital one, something like this, we can insert, and quickly we'll find out we're up to 98, 101 degrees. So it's heating really quick. At this point, once I have over 100 degree temperature, which this one also shows, you see here, it's time for us to go ahead and start working in our cheese. Just sprinkle in at about a handful at a time some of your cheese. I know, this looks deceptively simple, doesn't it? It really is, and it's the most remarkable tasting sauce. It's about 120 degrees. I'm going to lower my heat underneath it to a low flame at this point. Degrees. Set that aside. So now I'm getting good cheese melting at this point. Just what I want. Now remember, where do we get cheese? We get it from milk, right? It all starts with this substance. It all comes back to the same thing. So why would I want to put anything in this sauce other than a dairy product? Well, maybe a little bit of salt, huh? We've got butter in there, cream, aged cheese. That's the thing about the extra starch. Now my timer was telling me it's 5 minutes on that pasta. So go ahead and stir it. That's all that takes. That's it. Seeing it's starting to take on a little bit of that cheese color. What I like about this is it's just, the first time I tried it, I just couldn't believe how smooth and creamy it was. And it has forever changed my view on macaroni and cheese. Now, a little secret you might want to know about using a whisk. Put your palm against it and just push it around. The outside wire on the whisk will track right into that lower groove on the pan, and it'll clean it for you. There we go. Most of that melted, so I'm going to start working in some of the rest of this. And we let it simply melt on in. It's doing nice and quick and ready. Let's sloshed a little bit. Sometimes I'm a bit messy in the kitchen. That's not a big deal. Let that continue heating while I clean up my mess. It's always good to keep a couple of towels or rags handy that you can clean up a mess with easily. Now you want to be careful when doing this. You certainly don't want to boil that cream. Try not to get the temperature too extreme on this. Checking my temperature again. 127.5, 128. Majority of that cheese has reworked itself into the cream. Beautiful flavor. So far, macaroni has been cooking for roughly 8 minutes. Okay, now the cream has started to put off a little bit of steam. Temperature's up on it. $137.6. I'm dropping the heat on it. 138.2. You don't need to take this over 140. Okay? So, there we have a perfect cheese sauce. You may be thinking that is a little bit on the thin side. Don't worry about that. What's going to happen as soon as we mix it in with the macaroni, with that pasta, it's going to go ahead and soak up some of that moisture from this, thereby thickening this. It's going to make for a wonderful macaroni and cheese. A little under 1 minute left on our timer. So I'm going to check this. What I want to do is to pull out just a single one, if I can. Cool him down. I want to taste it. That's our 10-minute mark. Okay. It needs 2 more minutes. It needs to cook a little more tender. Maybe 3 minutes even. Yeah, that was rather firm. Now, al dente means firm, okay? We don't want to get rid of all of that firmness. I don't want it mushy, but I don't want it too firm. Stir that. And if you want to taste this, go right ahead. It would be a smart thing to do. Sometimes you need to add a little bit of salt to that. Let me get a tasting spoon here. Beautiful. That's good. I'm going to add some salt to mine because it just needs a little bit, not much. Stir that a couple of times and then taste it again. It's an important thing to do in the kitchen. Remember to taste what you're cooking. So here we have made a sauce and boiled our macaroni and cheese in really no more time than it takes to do most of the instant boxes. The better ones at least. And here I'm going to have a product whose grade is far, far better. turn a light heat underneath this, very, very low, as low as I can get it. And I'm only going to keep it on for a few minutes. I'm just trying to produce a little bit of steaming action. Okay, 2 minutes have passed. I'm going to check that Mac product again. Dead on. That is just perfect. Now, I need to pour off the water. When you're doing this, you can use a colander or the lid placed on the pot just tipped slightly. Be careful doing that though, you can burn yourself easily. Now that I have drained my macaroni, I'm going to take the cheese product that I have made. And I need to get a spatula here. There we go. Let's pour this right off into the mac. Again, like I said, looks a little on the thin side. Please don't worry. That problem gets resolved here in about the next 10 minutes. The easy part about doing this is what you have to do now, which is simply place a lid on it, set it aside and give it 10 minutes. So we'll set that timer again and we'll be back to check that in 10 minutes. I gave this a couple of extra minutes, about 15, but look how that has thickened up, how easily it's coating my macaroni product and staying in place. This is perfect. This is an excellent macaroni and cheese right here. What we're looking for. Hey, wasn't that easy? Not much different from buying those cheap boxes. So, next time you want to make mac and cheese, hey, give this one a try. And I guarantee you, you're not going to regret it. Man, that is just so creamy. Spot on. I tell you, I don't think it really gets much better. That is the best macaroni and cheese. The best macaroni and cheese I've ever had. Give this a try, you're going to love it. Thank you very much for watching Texas Cooking Today. Thank you for my subscribers. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. And you have a good day. Thank you for watching Texas Cooking Today, the show where you can get great recipes and the best techniques are taught. Please subscribe to Texas Cooking Today, where you will always find something hot and ready to eat.